Every single time you see a brown cardboard box with that familiar curved smile sitting on a doorstep, you are looking at a brilliant magic trick. The massive warehouses, the fleet of blue delivery vans, and the millions of low-wage workers sorting packages are not actually the core engine of Amazon's multi-trillion-dollar empire. They are merely a physical front, a loss-leading billboard designed to distract your attention while the real company quietly extracts a digital toll from almost every transaction, click, and search made on the modern internet. Amazon is not a retail company. It is a private digital utility that has successfully positioned itself as the mandatory infrastructure of our entire online lives. If you look beneath the cardboard and the tape, you will discover a hidden financial engine that forces its own competitors to pay its bills, fund its global expansion, and bankroll its entry into every industry on Earth. To understand how this works, we have to travel back to the early years of the 2000s, a time when Amazon was actually struggling with a massive, invisible engineering crisis. The company was growing so fast that its software development team could not keep up with the sheer volume of new products, customer accounts, and database queries. Every time a programmer wanted to build a new feature, they had to spend weeks, sometimes months, building the server environment from scratch just to run the code. It was like a restaurant where the chefs had to mine the iron, smelt the metal, and forge a new frying pan every single time a customer ordered an omelette. Two key engineers, Benjamin Black and Chris Pinkham, realized this was an existential bottleneck. They wrote an internal paper suggesting that Amazon should standardize its infrastructure, turning its servers into a single, uniform pool of computing power that any developer inside the company could plug into instantly. Jeff Bezos read that paper, and he did not just see a way to make his own engineers faster. He saw a way to rent out the very foundations of the internet to the entire world. In 2006, Amazon Web Services launched its first major products, Simple Storage Service, known as S3, and Elastic Compute Cloud, known as EC2. The premise was ridiculously simple. Instead of a startup buying expensive physical servers, installing them in a basement, and hiring an IT team to manage them, they could simply rent a fraction of Amazon's massive server farms by the hour, or even by the second. Think of it like a massive apartment building where instead of buying your own plot of land and building a house, you just rent a room for exactly as long as you need it. Suddenly, a tiny startup consisting of 3 people in a garage had access to the same world-class computing power as a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation. It was an instant revolution. Companies like Airbnb, Slack, and Pinterest did not succeed despite AWS. They succeeded because of it. They did not have to spend millions of dollars on server hardware before writing their first line of code. They just put it on a corporate credit card and paid Amazon as they grew. But as these startups grew into massive global enterprises, Amazon's power grew exponentially with them. Consider Netflix, one of Amazon's fiercest rivals in the streaming entertainment space. Every time you press play on a Netflix show, that video file is not stored on a Netflix server. It is hosted on Amazon Web Services. Netflix pays hundreds of millions of dollars every year directly to its primary retail competitor just to keep its movies streaming. When you pay your monthly streaming bill, you are indirectly paying Amazon's server bill. But how did this system become so impossibly dominant that it now controls more than 30% of the entire cloud computing market? To understand that, we have to look at the incredibly aggressive, almost predatory mechanics of how Amazon prices its cloud services. It is a pricing model designed to lock you in, strip away your options, and make it financially ruinous for you to ever leave. The industry calls it data egress fees. When you want to upload data into Amazon's cloud, the price is zero. You can send petabytes of information into their databases, and they will not charge you a single penny for the transfer. They welcome your data with open arms. But the moment you want to move that same data out of Amazon's servers, perhaps to run it on a competitor like Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, or to store it on your own hardware, Amazon hits you with massive, punishing fees. It is a digital Hotel California. You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. Let us look at a real-world example of this trap. Imagine you run a digital health platform that stores millions of medical records. Over a decade, you have accumulated 10 petabytes of data on Amazon S3. Under normal operations, you pay a manageable monthly fee to store it. But then Microsoft offers you a much better deal with more advanced artificial intelligence tools to analyze those records. You decide to switch. You prepare to transfer your 10 petabytes to Microsoft's cloud. Suddenly, Amazon presents you with a bill for nearly $100,000 just for the privilege of transferring your own data out of their network. For a mid-sized business, that is not a fee, it is a ransom. And it gets even more insidious when you look at how Amazon uses the massive, reliable profits from AWS to distort the entire retail economy. For years, the public wondered how Amazon could afford to offer free 2-day shipping on millions of items through Amazon Prime, while consistently reporting razor-thin profit margins on its retail site. The answer is hidden right there in the financial reports. The retail business is incredibly expensive to run. It requires warehouses, trucks, fuel, planes, and millions of physical human bodies. The profit margins are notoriously tiny, often hovering around 1 or 2%. But AWS? AWS is an absolute gold mine. It consistently generates operating margins of around 30%. In many fiscal quarters, this single quiet cloud division is responsible for more than 100% of Amazon's total operating income. Think about what that actually means. The money Amazon makes by renting server space to your local hospital, your bank, and your favorite apps is used to subsidize the retail side of its business. AWS Cash allows Amazon to sell physical goods at a loss, undercutting local brick-and-mortar stores, driving independent retailers out of business, and buying up shipping containers and delivery vans until it owns the entire supply chain. It is a brilliant closed-loop financial system. The digital economy pays a tax to Amazon, which Amazon then uses to build a physical monopoly in your town. It is a total reframe of how we understand corporate power. Amazon does not sell products, it sells infrastructure. If you want to run a modern business, you have to use the internet. And if you use the internet, you have to pay Amazon. Even if you actively avoid shopping on Amazon.com, even if you delete your Prime account and buy all your groceries from local farmers, you are still contributing to Jeff Bezos' wealth. When you book a ride on Lyft, you are paying Amazon. When you scroll through photos on Instagram, you are paying Amazon. When you check your balance on Robinhood or buy a ticket on Expedia, you are paying Amazon. When was the last time you loaded a web page that did not pay tribute to this single tech giant? The truth is, you cannot avoid it. The modern web is not a decentralized network of independent servers. It is a highly centralized system built on top of massive, nondescript concrete warehouses located in places you have probably never heard of, like Ashburn, Virginia. In this single county in Northern Virginia, up to 70% of the world's daily internet traffic passes through massive data centers, and a massive portion of those structures are owned by Amazon. These buildings consume more electricity than entire small nations. They are cooled by millions of gallons of water, and they operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, humming with the quiet sound of thousands of server racks processing your data. If those server farms ever go quiet, the modern world grinds to an immediate, terrifying halt, and we have seen this happen. When Amazon's primary US East 1 region in Northern Virginia experiences an outage, the consequences are immediate and bizarre. Smart doorbells stop working, locking people out of their homes. Roomba vacuum cleaners stop vacuuming. Pet feeders refuse to dispense food. Major news outlets go dark, airline reservation systems crash, and local police departments lose access to their digital reporting tools. It is in these moments of crisis that the illusion of the internet's independence is completely shattered. We realize that we do not live in a digital democracy. We live in a digital feudalism where Amazon is the ultimate landlord. This reality reveals 3 critical truths about how the modern tech industry actually operates as a systemic monopoly, and they are truths you can use to read every piece of tech news differently. First, The traditional concept of corporate competition is dead. In the 21st century, a tech giant does not need to beat its rivals in the open market, it just needs to host them. When you see headlines about a fierce battle between streaming services or artificial intelligence platforms, you must look past the consumer-facing apps. Look at where those companies host their algorithms. Whoever wins the front-end war, the infrastructure provider wins the entire conflict. They collect their toll no matter who comes out on top. Second, the dream of a decentralized, free internet is a myth. The cloud is not some magical, ethereal space floating in the sky. The cloud is just someone else's computer, and that computer is incredibly expensive, highly centralized, and owned by three massive corporations: Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. When a new technology promises to decentralize the world, whether it is finance, art, or social media, always ask, where are their servers? 9 times out of 10, you will find they are running on virtual machines rented from the exact same corporate giants they claim to be disrupting. Third, infrastructural capture is the ultimate goal of corporate power. By making itself indispensable to governments, intelligence agencies, and public utilities, Amazon has insulated itself from regulatory backlash. In 2013, the Central Intelligence Agency signed a $60 million cloud computing contract with AWS. Today, Amazon hosts secret and top-secret data for the entire United States intelligence community. When a company becomes the literal nervous system of national security and public infrastructure, they are no longer just a business. They are an unregulatable branch of the state. This is why we must look past the simple convenience of the Prime delivery box. The physical package delivered to your doorstep is not a service, it is a Trojan horse. It has trained us to associate the name Amazon with cheap goods, fast shipping, and consumer empowerment, making it incredibly difficult for the public or politicians to view the company as a dangerous monopoly. While we debate the labor conditions in their warehouses or the price of a Prime subscription, the quiet extraction of rent from the digital commons continues completely unabated. We are entering an era where we do not own our software, our data, or our digital identities. We rent them, month by month, on terms dictated by an invisible oligopoly. The servers humming in Northern Virginia are the factories of our time, and the code running on them is the new currency of power. When you realize that every click you make online contributes a fraction of a cent to this vast hidden machine, the entire architecture of our modern world begins to look completely different. The digital landscape was built to feel like a wide open frontier, but every path is a toll road, and every toll road leads back to the same destination. If you want to understand the forces shaping our world, you have to look beyond the consumer interfaces we are given and examine the hidden wiring underneath. The systems that control our lives are always hidden in plain sight, operating through mechanisms that we are trained to ignore until they become too massive to dismantle. But once you see the architecture of power for what it really is, you can never go back to being a passive consumer. There are even deeper, more closely guarded secrets built into the foundation of the technology industry, power dynamics that go far beyond a single cloud provider, and we are already preparing to expose them. Keep watching, because the deeper we go, the more the illusion of the modern world begins to fall away.